isn't working good. Wendy, the recording is in process. We meet again. Today is Thursday. I'm trying to find the date. Wendy, what's the date today?
I don't know. I don't know dates. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I know the day of the week it's Thursday. I know that.
We're all in agreement that it is Thursday.
Yep.
We're going to go with, it's on my watch. Thursday the 19th.
Sounds good to me.
And Wendy, every time around this time of year, there's a football game played, and it's the Alabama Crimson Tide versus the Tennessee Vols. Wendy, we're going to get to that in a minute. But there's a lot of excitement this year. There's a lot of people looking at this game. Not a huge slate of games on football. Let's do this, Wendy. How are you doing?
Doing good. I'm a nervous wreck about this game this week. I don't think I've been this nervous since Texas. It just feels weird in my stomach. I think both teams aren't that good. And the only saving grace, I think, is that it's at Tuscaloosa this year. That is the only saving grace.
The game is in T-Town. So, listen, I'll listen to other shows. I'll listen to other shows and da-da-da-da-da, and I enjoy listening to some of the banter back and forth. But I'm Trey. Wendy is my sister. She's my sister. She's 14, 15 months older than I am. We jump on here every week and talk about SEC football, college football, and a little bit of stuff in between. Typically, I'm working around Wendy's schedule, which for somebody who doesn't have a lot going on, I'm constantly working around her schedule, which is fairly typical. But that's kind of what we have going on. We have some really good listeners, some people that are our friends that watch this and listen to it and comment on it, and we enjoy getting on here and doing it. So that's kind of what this is. Wendy, let's go back to last week's games, and let's just get through these games real quick because we got to talk about the Alabama-Tennessee game. Wendy, last week, let's just start with the Oregon-Washington game. Washington ends up beating Oregon in a great game, but Washington does pull it out at the end. Oregon's field goal kicker misses the field goal at the end of the game to tie it up. Wendy, did you watch the game or not?
Yeah, but hold on. I'm blaming the whole entire loss on the Oregon coach. This guy wouldn't kick a field goal to save his life throughout that game. Remember, he kept going for it, 4th and 8, 4th and 4. Here's the deal. I think Oregon should have won the game. I think it's bad coaching. I think that's bad coaching. You get the points, dude. You're both undefeated. They're a good Washington team. Get the points. Had he gotten the points in those 3 different opportunities, they probably would have won that ball game. My personal opinion.
Yeah, and the big deal was getting the points at the end of the half. Getting the points at the end of the half. Oregon goes for it on 4th down at the end of the half. It's like 4th and 4. It's literally the last play of the half. You lose. I heard somebody talking about it. It's a really good point. One of the things about going for it down on your goal line is if you don't get it, that other team really has to drive the length of the field. You put them in a bad spot anyway.
Right.
That wasn't the case. The half was ending. I think that was a big missed opportunity to kick the points. He didn't do it. The other 4 downs really didn't bother me. But listen, it was a great game. They're going to have another shot at them. And, does Auburn want Bo Nix now?
Well, but I'm going to say this last thing. Then you're going to put your field goal kicker up at the end of the game to win a ball game, but you didn't have faith in him to kick a couple field goals throughout the game. I'm just telling you, bad coaching 101. I don't want the Oregon coach ever in the history of life.
All right, well, let's talk about the Auburn-LSU game, Wendy. We said it last week. Auburn goes down to LSU in a night game, and I just had a strange feeling that Auburn was about to get blasted. And, Wendy, Auburn pretty much got blasted off the field down there. Once again, they don't have an offense. What is developing with the Auburn football Tigers to me is real simple. They put Thorne in there. He can run the ball a little bit, but to throw the ball, but he's having a hard time passing the football.
Right.
And then you have the Ashford kid, which we all know is a great athlete, can run up and down the field and do some dynamic things relative to some of the things that he can do running the ball, but he hadn't been known as a really good passer. Well, Thorne's not a good passer really either.
Right.
So, at a point, they had Ashford in driving the team, and we were watching the game towards the end of the half, but it was almost like they put Thorne back in with like 45 seconds to go,
Right.
when Ashford's driving them down the field because they needed to be able to throw the ball because time was running out, Wendy. But Thorne can't throw the ball. Like I don't understand it. LSU just got all over Auburn, and LSU's finding their stride, and they could be a problem. Wendy, what's up?
So I'm with you. I really thought Hugh Freeze would have a little bit more for him, but their quarterback, and I'll tell you, I thought their defense looked a little bit better as well. Maybe they're tired of hearing the incumbents and the whole nation say that, that LSU's defense is terrible, which they are or have been up until this point. But I go back. I mean, I think it's the Ashford kid. Like, that's the kid I think that needs to be out there 24/7, 7 days a week. Like, if he's going to do better on the run, then just put him in. Don't be taking these kids out 40 seconds left on the clock, 30 seconds. You know what I mean? You lose all your dynamic at that point, in my opinion. The dynamics of that game seemed off the whole entire game for Auburn.
Yeah, and for Auburn's defense, it's like their defense, if you're playing defense, yeah, you can go out there and be ready and do this and do that. But when you jog out there for the 700th time and you realize your offense isn't going to do much, it wears on you. And they were playing a really good LSU offense, Wendy. That game was really never in doubt. Let's get to the Tennessee A&M game. The Tennessee A&M game was a 2:30 game, 3:30 game on CBS. Really a great game relative to the score, and nobody really was scoring. And it was really almost like a comedy of errors. Tennessee's driving the ball late in the game, about to put this game away, and their quarterback throws an interception in the end zone. A&M basically couldn't protect a punt, and Tennessee runs a punt back to score. Woody, Tennessee is who they are. It was kind of an odd game to watch, but Tennessee wins the game. What's up?
Well, I mean, let me say this: Tennessee didn't win the game. Texas A&M lost the game. Trey, that there are games like that, and Texas A&M lost the game. I'm going to go back to, y'all have hired a coach that's an absolute moron. I don't understand why he's still there. He should have been gone last year or the year before. But let me just go to this.
Right?
Yes, A&M. Because let me explain something. If you are a true football fan and you watched anything preseason, this Tennessee quarterback, he can sling it a country mile, but I am telling you, he cannot hit a target. Like, occasionally he just hits, right? Texas A&M was in that game the whole entire time. It's bad coaching. They need to get rid of Jimbo Fisher because Texas A&M lost that game. Tennessee didn't win it. They won it by the scoreboard, but they didn't win the game, Trey.
They did not win the game. Wendy, last game from last week we're going to talk about is the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Arkansas Razorback, Wendy, which I actually attended a game when I was a kid one time with somebody. And it was kind of funny. I think we were in high school. We were with some girls or whatever they were. And they ran out onto the field, and one of the girls was like, "Which one's Alabama?" So they're both kind of red and white. They're both kind of red and white. But it's the Arkansas-Alabama game, Wendy. Everybody's riding high. Alabama's a 19-point favorite. We figured it out, blah, 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 blah. Wendy, we go up 24-6. Everybody knows that watched the game in the second half. Here we go. We got them stopped. A defensive penalty. And then Arkansas comes back, and Wendy, it's a 3-point game with like 7 or 8 minutes to go. What happened, Wendy?
We fell apart. Again, we could not play a whole full game of not falling apart. But let me tell you something else, Trey. We didn't win that game. Arkansas lost the game. We didn't win the game. We literally did nothing in the second half. We looked like complete and total trash. One bad play threw everything off. They could never really recover from it. And I'm going to tell you something. That Jefferson kid, you can't take him down. You cannot take him down. It was a horrible second half. And that's what has me weirded out about this Tennessee game. Like, I just want a week where we look good, both halves, both sides of the ball. That's what I want. But I'm telling you, we didn't win that game either. We are no better than Tennessee, in my opinion.
Yeah. But Alabama sneaks out of there with the win, and everybody's
we
happy.
do.
Wendy, we're going to get to this week's games. Let's just bang down.
Trey, hold on.
Quick.
Was Texas? No, that was the week before. I'm still riding high on that game. Never mind.
Riding high. Wendy, Ohio State, Penn State on the national scale is one of the biggest games of the weekend. Ohio State, Penn State, Wendy. And this is another game that everybody points to, and they point to the game is at Ohio State and blah, 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 blah. Wendy, Penn State's beaten Oklahoma State like one time in the last 9 tries. They build this game up to be something. Can Penn State go into Oklahoma State and beat somebody or not?
Well, you started off, I think, saying Ohio State. Is it Oklahoma State or Ohio State?
It's Ohio State.
Okay.
Oklahoma State's in a totally different state.
Well, when you go back and watch this, you've said Oklahoma State 3 times, but Ohio State.
Serious?
Yes, I cannot stand, but I'll tell you, I don't care who Ohio State's playing. I hate them. I don't like Ryan Day. I hope Ryan Day loses. I think he's weird. So let's go Penn State. I'm in it. Let's do it.
You think Penn State's going to beat Ohio State at they don't call it the Big House, they call it the horseshoe. The horseshoe.
Trey, I'm never going to say that Ohio State's going to win a game. It's never going to happen. I don't like Ryan Day. I hope he loses every game he plays in.
Bingo. Wendy's still off that. I agree with you, but it's just like, until Penn State proves they can beat them, Ohio State's going to win the game. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a really fun game to watch. Wendy, the Auburn football Tigers, and I don't know, they're getting close to being back to the Auburn football swim and dive. They're teetering.
Yep, they
play the Ole Miss Rebels this weekend, Wendy, in a game at Jordan-Hare Stadium. The crowd's going to be pumped up. Ole Miss really needs this win. I mean, Ole Miss has put together a really good season. They really have to have a win here. It all signs point to Ole Miss winning this game. Ole Miss is playing good. They're winning football games. Auburn doesn't look good. Auburn is really scrambling for who they are.
Yep.
What's going to happen down there, Wendy?
I just feel like Ole Miss has hit their stride. I think Lane Kiffin has something going on down there, and I absolutely seen him pull it out, even though it's at Jordan-Hare. I may not have said that had Auburn looked a little bit better against LSU, but as bad as they looked, this Dart kid can throw it. Like, this guy's got schemes in every which. He's got 18 clipboards probably for this game that's going to get tossed. His hair, I mean, just the hair alone game is on point this year. So I just don't think Auburn's got it. But again, I will say this, and I say it every week. Hugh Freeze is a good enough coach to beat Lane Kiffin. We'll just see if he's got the players to do it.
Yeah, that's a really good point. But it's some excitement for the Auburn fans. Wendy, we're getting to, is this the third Saturday in October? This is the Alabama-Tennessee week. All I got to say.
That's all I got to say. I hate the color orange. I really do. It looks like, what people don't even know is that in Alabama, if you go to prison, that is the color of your jumpsuit. They literally use Tennessee orange. It's awful. But let me tell you this, Trey. I'm freaked out. Like, you tell me how you feel first instead of me telling you?
Well, Wendy, the thing about the Alabama-Tennessee week, and it is the third Saturday in October, which was kind of the name of the game for a long time until it kind of started jumping around just a little bit. But, Wendy, for us, being from Alabama, being big Alabama fans our whole lives, this is a great game for us. I mean, this is kind of, every year we look forward to this game. As kids, Tennessee would beat us some. We would beat Tennessee some. And I think the old adage is this is a really streaky series. I mean, Tennessee would beat Alabama for 6 years. Alabama would beat Tennessee for 7 years. Whatever the case was, a lot of really good games. Some of my favorite memories of the Alabama-Tennessee game was, when Tyler was the quarterback down there. I think it was in 2000, 2001, whatever it was. We finally beat Tennessee off a 6 or 7 year skid in Neyland Stadium. And one of the funnier stories about that is I went with some friends up to that game. So we're talking about 2000, 2001, Alabama, Tennessee at Neyland Stadium. Tennessee had beaten Alabama, like I said, 6 or 7 straight times. Tyler was quarterbacking. So we went to the game. Well, we had our seats, and I think we had 8 people for 6 seats. Okay. So we all somehow get in the game. We all had tickets to the game. We all tried to sit in these same seats up at the top of Neyland Stadium. Basically, if you walked up 2 rows, you could look out and look over the river.
Right.
But it was with some Alabama fans. I was like, I know we only have, 4 seats, 6 seats. We got 8 people. They're like, come on in.
Right.
Unfortunately, we had some of our crew get some of their drinks confiscated at the door. We were limited in our drink selection, but we all had these big 32-ounce Thirst Buster drinks. And we had basically had enough for 1 drink. And we were going to sit up there and enjoy the game. It's raining a little bit.
Right.
Wendy, the first or second play of the game, an Alabama guy picks the ball off and runs it back for a touchdown. We all stand up.
Right.
And every one of our 32-ounce Thirst Busters fall. And, Wendy, we have started a mini flood in Neyland Stadium. And I mean, you can just see this water, this soda
going
just
down.
going down, and you can see these people looking down at their feet, and we're just like,
Yep.
That was 2 minutes into the game, Wendy, and we ended up winning the game. It was a fun night in Knoxville. So that was some of the memories that I have from that Tennessee game. Another one, for some reason, was David Palmer back in like 91, 92.
Yes.
David Palmer running in for the 2-point conversion to tie the game, and it was a big deal. So those are some of the memories of that Tennessee-Alabama game.
Well, and growing up, you know, like I said, this Auburn-Tennessee game, Tennessee first, then Auburn were really the biggest games. And growing up, we didn't beat Tennessee a lot. Like, it wasn't like we were winning, you know, growing up, the streak was them, right? But it's funny you're talking about Tyler. So we grew up with Tyler. So I can remember that game. I got a little teary-eyed. I don't know if I'll ever forget that moment of winning that game. Like, I remember what I had on. I remember where I was. Like, you know what I mean? Some of it being that we know the quarterback, but the other just being, I was so ready to beat Tennessee, it wasn't even funny. You know what I mean? It was just a phenomenal game. But Trey, here's the problem with this week. They beat us last year. They cut that losing streak. And there's a pole sitting in the Tennessee River that you can see from Google Maps. I just feel like we're more equally matched than we've been in years. I mean, I just feel like we're real equal, and I just feel like this game really could go either way. Meaning, if their quarterback's on, because I truly just, again, he's got a great arm. I just don't think he's consistent. If he's on, though, hitting these balls, we're going to have a problem. They've got a decent defense. Our offense is shaky at best. Our defense is going to have to do a lot of work tomorrow. I mean, on Saturday, they're going to have to do a lot of work.
Yeah, I feel the same way. If you really look at the teams, they're real similar. Like, you know, I actually think Tennessee runs the ball a little bit better than Alabama.
I do too.
I think Milroe might be a little bit better of a passer, but not much. But it's almost like both quarterbacks are mobile, and both quarterbacks can throw it deep. You know, I think Tennessee's edge in the running game a little bit, unless we can get something going. But I think our defense, Alabama's defense, is a little bit better than Tennessee's. But Tennessee has a really good defense. So I think that's what everybody's saying is this is coming up to be a real evenly matched matchup. And you start getting back to the thing, this is a 3-hour game on Saturday, a 3.5-hour game on Saturday. So who's ready to play? Who puts their plan into motion? And who can come out and make some big plays and some big stops, Wendy? I just think it's going to be a great game. I still, for some reason, I was thinking about this week. Alabama's got a few what I consider, you know, kind of dogs in them this year. We don't look as scared out there, and we don't look like we're all waiting on somebody to make another play. It's more like our defense is out there banging it. Our offense sputters a little bit, but our defense is out there, and they've got some guys that are willing to make some plays. Yeah. So, Whitney, I'm looking forward to a great game. I think Alabama can pull this game out. It is at Bryant-Denny. The crowd's going to be crushing it out, and we're going to be in that crowd, Wendy. We're going to the game.
Yep. So, Trey, you said today you got some tickets. We're heading down. My sweet little daughter, she's doing her visit with Alabama on Friday to see if she wants to be a Crimson Tide fan next year when she goes to school. So we'll see. So we've got that Friday. So we'll be at campus all day Friday. And then, of course, we're going to the game on Saturday. So it's going to be a phenomenal weekend. But let me say this about the crowd. I've not heard our crowd all year. We better hear them. We better hear them on Saturday. Like, it's kind of, Trey, I'm not being, but are we that conceited of a fan base that when we get down, we just shut up? We just sit back, oh, Alabama's terrible. Well, that's what I do. But I just assume the people at the stadium don't do that. I'll be screaming the whole time if we're down. Like, we've got the fans have to get in these games that are close.
Well, you're going to have your opportunity. You're going to have your opportunity, Wendy. You're going to be able to scream and yell as loud as you want to. And with the fans, yeah, sure. I mean, it's the adage thing. You know, do the fans give the players energy, or do the players give the fans energy? And probably if you get down to it, it's probably a little bit of both. Like, the players got to play good. The players got to make some plays early in the game and keep us in the game and keep us pumping. I think the atmosphere at Bryant-Denny, when I've been there, has been really, really good. But, you know, the team's a part of that too now. I mean, they got to get out there and make some plays early, get us into the game, and we're going to do our part to help them out. I'm excited about going, Wendy.
Yeah, it's a sold out game too. I mean, there's some tickets on, SeatGeek, Ticketmaster, stuff like that, but it's going to be packed. Get there early. My brother's favorite saying, what is it, Trey? I love it when we do this.
It's this is a marathon.
Yes, you guessed it right. This is a marathon, not a sprint, right?
This is a marathon, Wendy, and the good thing is at 2:30. So
Yeah.
you don't have that much time to keep yourself together before the game. Wendy, some of these people on the thread that I've got going,
Yes.
I got a guy named Corbin. He literally texted me last week. He's playing golf, playing on private jets. It made me question what's going on with me. I like playing golf. I mean, I'll fly on a private jet. Yeah,
right.
I'll watch these threads to keep me involved in the game. But we got a lot of
100%.
people. We got a lot of people really into this stuff. Want to say hey to them. And Wendy, what else you got to do? We got to get off here.
That's it. Just roll tide, Mommy B. We love you. We love your support. You and Bob. Trey, the second you send it to her, she watches it. Our mother. So we got to give her a shout out. Mommy B, we love you. Your birthday was just last week. Happy birthday. We love you so much. And we really do. We just love your support. You're the cutest thing ever.
Well, she comments on our stuff.
Oh, when you ask for comments, she comments every time. My favorite was when she commented our clothes, our outfits.
Yeah. We looked cute.
We looked real cute. So, but we should have shouted her out last week and I forgot. So
yeah, well, and also Cookie is a big Tennessee fan. I talked to him earlier this week. Obviously, he's VOLS all the way, and we'll see what happens Saturday. Hope everybody has a good week. We will talk to y'all next week. Wendy, I love you.
Hey, love you. Roll Tide. See you in a few days.
All right. Bye.
Bye.